Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video. And yes, nothing has changed officially from Moonton, ByteDance, whatever frickin' subsidiary you want to say. They basically have gone on and continued to go on and say it should be coming. Well, Snap did update a bit last week. They were stating that they believed they would be back in the app stores last Friday. They were not in North America. Then they followed that up with now that they have an estimation that should be early this coming week. What does that mean for Moonton products such as One Punch Man the Strongest? We don't know. We don't know if this is ByteDance doing this. We don't know if this is Newverse doing this on their own. They've also gone on to say that they are looking at other options, the actual developers, to actually possibly move publishers, which is always an option because, again, such as with Snap, don't forget, One Punch Man the Strongest is not owned by Moonton. They are only the publisher. So that is a possibility, but I don't even know if they're going to bother with that. So we're pretty much still in the same spot we were before. And quite honestly, I'd put a drop dead date on my calendar as of the last day of this month. And if things didn't change, I was going to go ahead and move on from this game. Well, I have done and been working on different workarounds to see how to make this work. For me, in particular, the easiest way to preserve my account, of course, is to go either with South America or Canada because, of course, they are both under the Moonton publishing agreement, so your account still survives there. But I've had numerous setbacks with Google Play, so finally, because every year their coding gets better, it gets smarter, it gets more difficult to go outside jurisdictions. You have to find all sorts of workarounds. I mean, I have accounts in Taiwan and I have accounts in Japan and all over the place. So I used to have a Canadian one, but I could not retroactively get it up. So I went ahead and tried a few different ways with the Canadian account. I'm going to talk about how to do it if you're interested. Went ahead and did it. Still wasn't working. Still wasn't allowing me to be able to download and access One Punch Man the Strongest through the Canadian server. But it was letting me do all the other Moonton games, which then made me realize, okay, that coding is there embedded. So I need to do basically a completely stripped down version on which, in case you use it or don't, BlueStacks, for instance, makes that incredibly easy. You can use LD Player. It's not going to make a difference. So that's what I did. So let's talk about that for a second. So first off, what you're going to have to do, of course, is create a Google Play account for Canada. What you need to do, though, is you have to have a VPN. So you have to have a VPN on. You have to have it set to Canada. And you can create bare bones Canadian Google Play account. If it asks you for an address or zip code, just do a search. Use anything. It's fine. Again, do this at your own risk. But you can do that. It will create it. And once you create it, then you're going to need to go into BlueStacks and create a brand new instance. So if you don't already have BlueStacks, I can put a link in the description for BlueStacks LD Player. It's not going to make a difference. The point is you want a fresh instance. You don't want to clone anything that has any of your prior versions of Google Play on there. So you do a fresh instance. Once you do that, you're now going to go ahead and have a solely separate BlueStacks app player. I titled mine OPMTS, and that's the only thing I'm going to have on it because again, like I said, I was having issues, so I wanted a completely clean copy. Now you're going to need to go into the Google Play Store on your BlueStacks that you just created the fresh instance of. You're going to log in to that Canadian Google Play account. Now, that is it. Do not put any of your other Google Play accounts in there. And by the way, you don't need the VPN when you're doing that. The VPN is only necessary when you create the account. Of course, When I went ahead and did that, I went ahead and did a quick search under Moonton, saw that it was active in there. It's showing installed because I'd already installed it when I took the screenshot. But the point is, all the Moonton apps are there, so you know you're in business. You download the One Punch Man the Strongest, and then you're gonna want to log in. Now, once it's installed and on your screen, such as this, open it up, and then of course log in. I would recommend not using a Google login. Hopefully you have your login attached to Facebook, Twitter, or email. If you don't do that first before you do this, what I'm trying to stress here is to stay as far away as possible from anything that will have any of your old Google information in it, just to be safe. At this point, it's probably overprotective because you've already got it downloaded. But again, I had so many weird glitches trying to do this because you can imagine I have an immense amount of Google Play Store logins for all different sects of the world. So I had to scale everything back and keep this incredibly simple to get it to work, but it did. And I used the login with email because I always do that option with my main accounts, because to me that's always the safest way if it's an option versus Facebook, Google, etc. But once I did that, I was able to log in, was able to retrieve my account under Canada, Google Play, and everything is working hunky-dory. I'll be able to get any updates that are necessary. If I was to choose to get something from the store, I could. Now, let me also give you one huge warning. Canada is much more expensive than what the US was. I'm actually going to do a test run, I think, for South America to see if it's any better, because quite honestly, it is stupid the difference in price with Canada. And that's one of the problems you have when you are using games from all different parts of the world, because there's so many factors dealing with the economic ramifications. And yeah, I'm not even go down that rabbit hole right now because it's too much information. The point is, just be aware. But the point is, that worked. I'm probably going to go ahead and give a shot to South America. I am still not sold because quite honestly, the player base is dwindling more than ever because of this. Now, again, let's go back to the beginning of the video. Snap seems to think they are going to be back up. If for some reason it does come back up, all the ByteDance apps, such as Lark, such as Snap, such as One Punch Man the Strongest. Again, remember, and I want to keep stressing this, there's only a stay in effect, and it's a total of 75 days. Now it's probably down to about 69, 68 days. That's literally 2 months. So keep that in mind. Again, I have to stress that immensely. But I know some people that deleted it were at least trying to get it again. And some of the APKs worked fine. Some of them didn't out there. TapTap was pushing you to Google Play. APK Pure did have it and it did work, just putting it out there. But again, you are still in this phase of still not knowing what the true future is going to be. So I can't stress that enough to people publicly to, keep that in the back of your mind at all times. But again, this did work, preserve the account, full function with the App Store, as well as the possibility of updates. So some slight good news, but again, a lot more hoops than I'm used to jumping to do this. It really shouldn't have been this much of a pain in the rear end. It really should have been pretty simple. I've never had to do this before. I don't really get it, but I do know that every year they are ramping up their efforts to make it harder and harder to play outside jurisdictions under the Google Play Store as well as iOS. So that's probably what's going on, and really had to have a completely wiped situation. I'm sure if I would have wiped my phone and started from the beginning and and did it, it would have worked the same way. But of course, I'm not going to do that over a mobile game. So I'm just going to keep doing it on BlueStacks. Now, does it change how I log in with my other devices? No, it doesn't. Okay, so the only way to get full functionality is through the version I did through BlueStacks. But again, APKs are out there. And this game mostly uploads its content. It doesn't do a lot of game updates, so it's not a huge deal. But I'm going on way too long, and really this is too much and too long of a video for something so truly insignificant in the end. But again, I just wanted to put it out there. It does work. If you deleted it by accident and want to give this a try, great. You can always go the APK method, but again, you're not going to have any functionality with the Play Store. It's really up to you, but in the end, this is a possibility if you're desperate at this point. And of course, if we get any updated information, either from Moonton, or we just notice it pops up, or other avenues that should be similar, such as Snap, because they make a fair amount of money. Last month they made like 4 million, so I'm sure they want to get their app back up there as soon as possible. They have a lot more driving it to be done than, of course, this particular game that can't even crack 200K anymore. But again, need anything, it's in the description. Have any questions, you can always put it in the comments. And with that, have a great day.